KPFA Radio presents Let's Talk Music. Hosts D Minor and Thomas J talk music, highlighting artists who have made an impact on hip-hop, R&B, and old-school music. Please enjoy this episode of Let's Talk Music that previously aired live on KPFA Radio.
Hey!
What's up? How's it going, Miko?
I'm gonna hello. How's it going?
It's
I'm gonna let
going.
you take it away and tell everybody who the dope guests you have sitting next to you, and then you guys can just chat it up music.
All right.
Just make sure it's amazing. Yeah.
I would let them introduce themselves because I don't want to just be like, this is, and then crash. So, you know. But yeah, my name is Mike Biggz, and I am the host of I Had That Tape. I'm also the technical director of Flashpoints, and I'm switching over to the interim music department coordinator in 2024, which basically means I'm going to be in charge of just helping out our wonderful music programmers with whatever they need, put out any fires, try to elevate everything to the next level. If there's any requests that they would want, I would definitely will try to fulfill it and get it done, and just, try to make everything in this year, which is our 75th year coming up, a really special one, and just take it from there. And yeah, I have a lot of plans involved for 2024, and I'll talk about that in a bit.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Hi, I am Computrblu. I am the host of Don't Disturb This Groove on Monday nights from 10 to midnight. It's a very sexy show. It's a music show, and I want to make sure that with whatever you're doing at that time of night, that you have a nice atmosphere, groove to go along with it. Each week, I like to switch it up. It's just based off of what I'm listening to that week, or the mood that I'm in, or based off of the guests that I might have. So right now, I'm going to rebrand a little bit based off of the skills that I have. I am already a sex educator, but now I'm going to be a certified sexual health educator. And so I want to bring in some of the information and knowledge that I have. There is a hotline number that you can call, 510-848-6767. Ask me any question that you have regarding relationships or sex. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. If you have any song requests, shout outs, if you have questions about anything else with me, feel free to ask. I am an open door, and I want to be able to spread knowledge and educate, as well as set the mood for sharing new music or old music or whatever we might love. So thank you for this opportunity, KPFA, and hey, D Minor.
I just gotta tell you, I love the Monday nights at 10 o'clock. My group cannot be disturbed while I'm listening to you, okay?
Thank you.
How y'all doing? I'm D Minor, one half of Let's Talk Music with Thomas J on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. And Thomas and I, we do a lot of interviews with a lot of the artists that we appreciate from the past into the current, and we just have a good time with it, whether it be eclectic music to music of jazz, to funk, you name it. We bring it to you on Sunday nights from 8 to 9, and then we also are involved with Jazz Line sessions on Saturday afternoons at 2 o'clock. And we're just having a good time and just playing music. That's what we love to do. That's what we love to talk about. So, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting year, 2023, I would say. We should definitely talk about what went down this year in music. Do you guys have any favorites that you would like to discuss when it comes to music? Because I sort of have a list of albums that I liked. I didn't write down singles per se, but I do have a list of like artists and albums that were more or less, I think I got to 9. I don't think I actually got to 10, but I got to 9, I think.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a little all over the place, but I will say one album that stands out to me is the Jungle album, Volcano.
Dude, yes.
Crazy.
That was on your list.
Back on 74.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jungle was actually here. They were in town.
Yeah, I want to see them next time they actually show up, because they've been like secretly putting out, not secretly, but just putting out albums a bit under the radar for the most part, for like the last, almost 10 years, I think. I think their first album was 2014, I think.
Correct.
And I remember hearing them back then when we got it at the station and just thinking, man, this is really cool. I like this vibe. And then over the years, I would see, a new Jungle album has dropped, and I would check it out. And then this one came out, and yeah, it just blew me away. Like, it has the most incredible vibe to it. Like, it feels like a lot of the vocals are washed out and kind of like sort of somewhere between 60s kind of doo-wop and 70s, like 70s harmonies under like really heavy kind of like funky soulful beats, and it's just really dope.
Yeah, I think you perfectly said that, and they were able to mix it well. And now I've never seen them live, and I was so hurt that I was so close to seeing them. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there. But I heard the experience, though, as far as seeing them live, makes you appreciate their music even more so. And nowadays, it's one of those kind of things where you gotta back your wax. So, and sometimes certain artists might not be there quite when it comes to their stage performance. But Jungle,
this is Computrblu, and we'll be right back after this message from KPFA.
They're a couple DJs, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they? Yeah. So I mean, I think sometimes they do like the whole, dual sets, but then I'm assuming they probably incorporate live vocals as well too. I'm sure. I love that album a lot. The album was great.
Well, if we're speaking about performances, I was just sharing with Mike my, I guess, a life-changing experience.
Welcome back to
with
Don't Disturb
Beyonce.
This Groove.
There you go.
So I was just saying, like, I was never really like a huge fan of Beyonce, but I always respected her work.
Right.
As a performer, she's amazing. But Renaissance came out, and I listened to the whole album nonstop. I loved every part of it. And when the tour came, the tour dates, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to do it. Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for me to be able to see her live and see what this is all about. I'm still like, let's see what this is, let's see why people are so crazy over her. But the fact that I spent the money, to travel to New Orleans, buy the tickets, the stay, everything, it was worth it. Like, I never knew that I could be affected in that way. Like, you see fans of Michael Jackson passing out and things like I love Prince. I've seen Prince multiple times. I've never cried like nonstop throughout a whole performance like I did for her. She is amazing. It was awesome. It was like the most awesome like live experience that I have seen. And on top of that, saw that and then still went to the movie too, and then still cried again. Like, just like, I saw that live. And so like I never ever thought I would be saying something like this. I never thought that I would be so madly in love. But I for 2024, just in terms of talking about music, I did not know I had those feelings for her or that her music until this year, and that's wild.
Well, for folks who haven't seen the movie Renaissance, without giving too much, what would you say were like maybe some of the highlights for folks to see it?
Just seeing her work ethic and how hard she goes, and the fact that she directs and she's a part of every step of the way. Also seeing her as a mother, seeing her as a woman. Like I saw her on stage, and I was like, now I know why people are like, she's a god, she's a goddess. People think she's a witch because she's magical. Seeing her on stage, I was like, yeah, she got something going on. It's probably the money and all the whatever talent she has, and she's been doing this for so long. But seeing her as just human in the movie, seeing her with no makeup on and just tired or in pain or just being a mom to her children, that's what hit me in the movie. Like, I needed to see that too. Like, oh, she's real. We all knew she was real, but she shows that. And just the stage, the way she set up that stage, she set it up exactly how she wanted it to, and it was amazing. But just to see how much work and effort she put into it just really blew me away.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Beyonce records in clubs since, the late '90s in the Destiny's Child era up until her solo career. So, I've been a fan, but not like a crazy fan. I wouldn't say I'm part of the Beehive, but like, I always loved just a lot of album cuts and some of the singles. Like anything she did with Rich Harrison was always like, it was great for me. And like probably her most slept on record for me is like Sugar Mama, which is I think on the Birthday album, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that record. It basically was that last part of the whole Rich Harrison vibe that just vanished. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I would have to go with you on that one, Mike. I think loosely, I'm a fan. Of course, I like the singles, and so like "Sweet Dreams" is like I can play that and not get tired of it. Okay.
That's in my Halloween playlist.
Okay, yeah.
I have a nice Halloween playlist that I like to run through, and like I added it whenever that year came out. It's Halloween-esque.
I want to hear that.
It does.
It's like Disturbia from Rihanna. Like it's very Halloween-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a good vibe.
So we should talk about goals for next year, because I know we all got goals for our individual shows, and I definitely have a bunch of goals for the station in general because I'm moving to this new position. For folks that don't know, I've been here for 20 years. I started in 2003. I'll make it very quick. I was an intern, and then I worked for Hard Knock Radio, got laid off, came back for Flashpoints, and been working as a technical director since. That was in 2012. And over the years, I've branched out to do more on the behind-the-scenes kind of side of things, like loading content to the air and making sure that those promos you hear in between get produced and get played and all that stuff. But I'm venturing something more towards that's really near and dear to my heart, which is music. And being able to essentially head up this department and just be the person that has everyone's back in the music department. That's, what I want to do. I want to make sure that, because we have these incredible, like, legendary DJs at our station. Some that, like, I probably didn't really realize how much of a legend some of them were until other people came up and be like, yo, so-and-so works there? Are you kidding me? That's like the icon, like Ricky Vincent.
Oh, yeah. The history of funk. For sure.
Absolute legend. I mean, and, so just to be able to help these folks out is going to be a lot of fun, and do whatever I can do to just elevate the programming. But be on a personal level, I want to be able to do a couple things like bring KPFA's first ever digital library. We've had this physical library, which nobody touches because for the longest time, nobody was allowed to go into the library and pull music from it. Long story. But with this digital library, everybody will have access to it. So if you come here and you want to do your show here, you can pull up this massive library of songs and genres and be able to play whatever you want from it. And so I just feel like it's also a step into the future, because now a lot of the music we get is sent to us digitally. And physical copies. We still get physical copies, and I still want to be able to incorporate physical media into our station. So of course, new CDs that come in, if we throw it in rotation, we throw it in rotation, and it'll also get digitized so it sits on both areas. Because
you've been listening to Don't Disturb This Groove. You can find me at Computrblu on Instagram. That's COMPUTRBLU.
Something that I've been wanting to do, but then also just making the music department way more visible than it was in the past. Like, I want to be able to show up at events like street fairs and different like music events that we can, and just have like a whole table set up, and maybe even have myself or other people who know how to actually like DJ come through and do little sets. Like, if we can maybe get a spot at, like, say, the Laurel Street Fair or something like that, and just represent KPFA and represent the music department and show that, we make up 60% of this whole programming grid, and this musical programming grid that we have is pretty much damn near the best in the Bay Area, I would say, because not only are we freeform radio, we can play whatever we want, but, we highlight a ton of independent artists. I mean, on top of, we play artists that are known and have record deals, but also ones that are just, you may have never heard. Like, even on my show, I've played stuff on my show that probably never would have gotten radio play because it was released solely on cassette back in the 90s, because my show, I had that tape plays Bay Area rap music from the 80s and the 90s. And a lot of those artists never got a lot of shine on the radio. At least they were known in the streets. But, that's about, more or less what I got going on for 2024. Just keeping us way more visible and getting our name out there for the 75th. And then, of course, just, the digital library, which I'm going to launch in January.
That's dope.
What you got, CB?
I like what you said about sharing music that most likely wouldn't be played on the radio, or people that didn't get a shot. What makes me feel good about having a program here on KPFA is that I've given so many people their firsts. Like, there are so many people that are like hyped, like, thank you so much. Like, I never thought I'd be able to have my music on the radio, and you gave me that chance. Even DJs, like, I sometimes don't think that way, like, oh yes, we are on the radio. This isn't a podcast, we are on the radio. And there are DJs that I've put on, and they're like, this is my first time on the radio, thank you. So like, that makes me feel so good, just growing up and listening to music and stuff and not being able to hear it on the radio and having to have a tape and listen to it that way. And I remember listening to what is that, Fat Cat's Bigger Fish.
Oh yeah.
But it was late night, late, and I remember I was like, I have to listen to the radio after 10 so I can make sure if that song comes on again, I can record it, because I had no idea what the name was, the artist, nothing. I just know that it was one of the dopest songs that I'd ever heard. And so the radio, like, people try and talk down on it, but we're doing something. We are doing it for the artists and the communities out here, and
Still
I love
matters.
doing that. It matters so much. For the upcoming year, like I said, I want to rebrand. I want to bring in more guests. I want more interaction from the listeners. Please call me. Please DM me. I respond to everyone. I want to have more guests. I want to educate more. I want to add more music, newer music. And I also, what else? Oh, I don't know if I told you guys or if you know, but I used to be in a band. I used to be in a band. We haven't performed in like over 10 years. But yeah, like, that's my background. Like, I love music. My background is theatrical, and we were in a band for a really long time. We went from being called Top Shelf to the Tenderloins, and we performed all over the Bay Area, New York and LA. But things happened. We had kids and all kinds of stuff. So I cleared out my garage, and so we're about to start having our jam sessions again, because we've been needing it. Like, we've been needing this music. So I'm excited for the upcoming year, because that's going to be a part of me that's been gone for so long that's slowly coming back. And so, like, maybe I'll be able to play our music on the radio, so that's cool.
I used to make beats too, by the way.
For
many years.
Hey.
Many years. While I was getting my radio, while I was paying my dues in radio, I was also making beats for many, many years. And I was like super caught up into that whole, Telegraph Avenue 4-track underground kind of thing. And, I just we actually put out a CD with a friend of mine like in 98, 99. And, would make stuff here and there. But, it's just one of those things. It was a lot of fun.
All right.
Reunion.
Yes, the Tenderloins reunion coming soon.
That's what's up. Well, I would say for Let's Talk Music for the upcoming year, I think it'd be great to have something live here in the KPFA studios, doing like some live sessions and things like that, and some of the people that are local, that are in town, if they could just do like an interview, but also like something musical. As far as featuring their music live, that would be something I look forward to, and hopefully that can come to fruition in the next year and stuff. And then just continue to really just, showcase a lot of music, whether it be of the past that really didn't get a lot of love, and then of course some of the new stuff. And there was a band out of New York called Baby Fang, and it's a rock band, and so I'm like just vibing off of what they're doing. And for me, I think that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Hopefully they can all be here and do something for Let's Talk Music, and maybe we can have Tenderloin reunion, and maybe we can have them on
Hey,
or something. So, yeah, so I look forward to that, and then just continue to push out the station, and especially on social media, especially on Instagram, and Facebook, and things like that. So, yeah, doing more of the live stuff.
Live stuff would be great.
I also eventually at some point want to be able to have because there's a handful of people that know how to also DJ, mixing on the ones and twos kind of DJ. Like to be able to go out and do little performances and play sets at different places and just represent KPFA. I would love to do something with Davey or Luis Medina or a couple other folks like who are out there have done some incredible sets in their lives, and they been DJing forever. So I think it would be fun to be able to bring that out to folks too.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that before. That would be dope to just be more visible out at the festivals and things like that, to just represent KPFA.
Yeah,
showing that we're here, we're dope, we got good taste in music.
I'm also going to be reaching out to just doing a lot of extra things. I want to be able to reach out to a lot of local venues and try to because some of our DJs already have relationships with some of the venues, just putting in work for all the years, and it's just, people. But I want to be able to try to develop relationships between the station and some of the local venues so we can, be able to do things like give out more tickets. Yeah. And then also, have a section on the website. The website, I really want to revamp a certain part of it, just the music section, and almost turn it into a bit of a kind of a blog role where you can feature album reviews. You can reveal certain DJs top 10 for the month, or you can also reveal KPFA's top 30 for the month, and opinion pieces, all kinds of things that we could put on the website to make it interesting and more interactive for folks out there, and just have a bunch of content that it's just right there ready for you, good to go, that's entertaining, that you'll find hopefully interesting. So
I like that too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm D Minor, and we will be right back after this important message from KPFA.
KPFA Radio is a community-powered, listener-supported radio station based in Berkeley, California. We are able to bring you this content through donations and support from our listeners. Please consider supporting KPFA through a donation by visiting www.kpfa.org/donate. And now let's get back to the program.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Music.
I want to run down my little list of, before I forget, just real quick, I did come up with a list of albums that
Share
I
your
did,
list. That's really good.
I might as well get it out there. I have it on my phone, so
and then send it to
me. My phone, but so my list goes at this. I don't know if this is actually 1 through 9, but these are the albums, maybe in no specific order. But okay, SZA, SOS.
What?
Dude, SZA is a beast. I love the hell out of SZA ever since I heard her maybe almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think her songwriting has gotten just really incredible. She almost flows like a rapper in some ways when you listen to her verses. But yeah, the way she sings, her voice is incredible. Her lyrics are very personal and just hit really hard. And musically, man, she's got great taste in music. Her beats are just whoever, the people that do the production are just really on point. So that album SOS I thought was incredible. Yasmin Lacey, Voice Notes, which is a very, I would feel, slept on artist that I only got upped on maybe a few months ago, and immediately it shot to my top 10. Mm-hmm. And I was telling Computrblu about this, but her album Voice Notes, I haven't felt that way about an R&B album or a soul album, especially for a debut, since Baduism. It's that good.
That's big.
It's that good. She reminds me vocally a little bit of another person on my list who is Kali Uchis. But if Kali only did straight up soul bangers and wasn't doing all the other things that Kali Uchis does. But that being said, Kali Uchis is also on my list. Red Moon and Venus was an incredible album. If you're a fan of her music, she's been doing it for the last decade as well, just putting out quality music. Jungle, Volcano, that goes without saying. Pink Pantheress, Heaven Knows, which dropped recently, and I've been following Pink Pantheress now for a couple of years, and it's just really nice being able to hear something as underground as drum and bass get put on a bit of a more pop level for the very moment that it will last, because drum and bass will never be pop. It will never be truly mainstream. It's been underground for many, many decades. And it's had brushes with mainstream appeal, but Pink Panthers is pretty much the one that's bringing it to the next level. She does more than drum and bass, but she's an incredible songwriter, and she's only like 20 or 21. She's very young, and she's been putting out really good music, so don't sleep on Pink Panthers.
You put me on a Pink Panthers. Thank you.
There's another young artist I just got upped on this year, too, who blew me away, is Laffy. I don't know if you've ever heard of Laffy. So it's kind of weird. Her story is interesting because she is like the most streamed jazz artist on Spotify, and her biggest audience is Gen Z. So like she's bringing just all these old jazz standards and like bossa nova. It's not straightforward jazz. Some of it can be confused with mid-century pop, but like it's jazz standards, some bossa nova stuff, and some stuff that is just like jazz for sure, but to a younger audience. And she's really worth checking out. But Laffy is her name, and Bewitched is the album.
Ooh, I like that.
What else? I got just a couple more. Jessie Ware, That Feels Good, which if you're familiar with her, UK singer. Jessie Ware is amazing. Yeah, Doja Cat, don't throw tomatoes at me, please.
Tomato.
I like Scarlett. It was her first attempt at a straight up rap album, and I gotta say, Doja Cat, as problematic as she can be, musically is pretty damn tough. Like, she's extremely talented, but I'm hoping that whatever she does in the public eye just doesn't completely turn me off to it. But the music I thought was really good, and I actually enjoyed her album.
No features too.
Yeah, which was kind of nice.
Crazy.
Yeah,
she's dope.
Yeah. And then of course Arlo Parks, My Soft Machine, which is, if you're not familiar with Arlo Parks, she is raw. She is basically if Sid from the internet was British. Ooh. And I mean that in every sense of the word. And her music is a bit more, it's not quite the same as the internet or as what Sid does. Once you hear it, you'll be like, okay, you understand her vibe and her. She's an incredible songwriter, a really great singer, and she also sings with that beautiful British accent too, which I always appreciate when they don't try to sing an American accent, but when they just let the British flow out. Yeah, like, I can appreciate that. Good. So yeah, Arlo Parks, check her out because she's dope.
Thank you. Can you send me that list, please?
I will. I will screenshot it and forward it to you.
Thank you.
My secret weapons. What about you guys? Got any more else that albums that have like made you go wow this year? It's been an interesting year.
Well, I would have to say with you as far as with Doja Cat, I've always been a fan of her, even going back to the Moo song.
Moo. That's how I got upped on her. I was like, I had no idea who she was. Yeah. And then I heard that and I was like, this song is ridiculous, but there's something here. Like, I love the fact that they used a Wes Montgomery sample and like it just had a good vibe to it, even though it was just a stupid, silly song. But
right.
Then she started putting out other music, and I was like, okay, you've got some talent. Like, Kiss Me More, I thought was a great record.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or even Say So, which is basically, chic.
Yeah.
But it was a great record.
I can't front though. I mean, it's a little cheeky, but the Cyber song, I thought that one was kind of cool too. But Doja Cat is nice though. I mean, if you kind of get past a lot of the other stuff, like she really has some talent. Like she can rap, she can sing,
and she is also really good at popping and locking.
Right, I was gonna say she's deep in hip hop. Like she's not playing around. Like this isn't a front. She I will say I'm back and forth with her. We be beefing, you know what I'm saying? But like her talent is unmatched in comparison to a lot of the people out right now trying to rap. Like she's deep into hip hop.
Yeah, she mentioned also I think on like a IG stream or something that she really loved Little Brother.
Yeah, she did. I remember that. Yeah,
and The Listening was one of her favorite albums.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which I appreciate. But did you watch the Little Brother documentary?
I need to. What I want to do, I want to do like a little watch party. So I'm waiting to like.
2 documentaries you should be up on. That one, and then I think it's on Paramount Plus. The Drez one. The choice is yours.
Oh.
Okay. So if you do a double feature, the Little Brother one, man, that one's crazy because, Little Brother is, for people that don't know, is a really dope hip hop group from North Carolina, but they had a lot of Bay Area ties because they were signed to a local label out here. that also got them signed to Atlantic on their second album. And, you know, I never knew all the drama that went on behind the scenes. I never really bothered to ask. I would just, you know, get the records and just play them and just enjoy the hell out of them. But then, like, not knowing what else was going on behind the scenes was just very eye-opening. And I was just like, damn, because I literally know all the people that essentially that are in this documentary, that are mentioned in this documentary, and it's just, you know, it's interesting.
You know, Fonte was my first guest on my my first show for Don't Disturb This Groove, and we got to see them perform for their first performance actually this year after like the whole COVID thing in San Diego.
Nice.
That was a super dope show.
I got to meet them once it was like 03 or 04. It was when The Listening came out. And Malachi, shout out to Malachi from Motown on Mondays, 10 p.m. Sunday nights, if you're not knowing. He was kind of managing them, I think, for their local shows. Or I think he might have been their tour manager for a while. But also Mal worked at ABB, and, you know, he helped run the record pool, which I was a part of. And Mal I've known since 96. But he... did it. We were used to do in-stores at Rasputin's up the street. And so we did an in-store every Friday where we would just, me and him would just DJ for like a few hours, and, you know, it would be fun. But one day little brother comes through to do like an actual in-store. And so like Ninth Wonder used my needles, which I always like to tell that
story. That's tight. That's tight.
It was cool meeting both of them. And then, you know, Ninth Wonder was like, hey, you mind if I use your needles? And I'm like, be my guest. You know, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's dope.
Nice.
You always got the cool stories too.
Sometimes I got a bunch of random stories. I'm like a walking, you know, encyclopedia of useless music trivia.
Not useless, never. You know, that's what I love about listening. When I listen to y'all talk on the show, like, it just flows, and I always wonder, like, do you have to do like your research first? Do you write scripts, or do you it's just the knowledge just flows from you based off of experience?
Just experience, just kind of just, you know, going off the top.
That's so cool.
Sometimes I wing it if I, like, for my show, like, because, you know, it is a pre-recorded program, but like there's times where I think in the beginning I used to kind of like, I would write out notes and then just kind of talk around it. And then sometimes I just completely wing it and just go off the top of the head, because, you know, a lot of the songs that I play on my show sort of come with a story. Because, you know, it's music from like, you know, 20, 30 something, you know, 40, almost 40 years ago at some point. So a lot of these stories have personal stories attached to them because they're attached to memories, you know. Someone like, you know, I did a whole special right after Zumbi passed on Zion I, you know, and Zion I was like such an amazing group to me. And I got the chance to meet them in their very beginning stages, because it was like, this is at the point when I was also volunteering for our sister station up the street, Calex. And I was doing a show there for a while. I used to do a Friday morning show from 6 to 9 a.m. It's always fun waking up that early to do the show. Yes, but especially because I was working at another radio station at the time, so there was a period where, like, I think I was like partially narcoleptic and would just fall asleep at random times because I was overworked.
Oh,
way overworked. But yeah, so anyway, I got to meet actually Amp Live before I met Zumbi, because their manager at the time was a friend of mine named Ioka Medlock, who was a former youth radio kid. And I've known her forever, and she's just the most wonderful person in the world. And she was managing them in the beginning, and so she brought Amp by at like 7 o'clock in the morning and played their music. And I was like, wow, this is really incredible stuff. Like, you guys are definitely going to be big. And then a week later, I went to the show at La Peña and got to meet Zumbi, and, you know, knew them ever since. So it was great.
That's cool. And, you know, to go back to what you were talking about with Little Brother, I had the opportunity of meeting them at a record store I worked at in San Francisco called Creative Music.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
nice.
To folks who are from the city, y'all know what I'm talking about over there on Ocean and Mission. And but yeah, they came out here for they were doing the campaign for the minstrel show, and yeah, it was great just to get a chance to meet them. They were one of my favorite groups at the time, so it was just great to just, you know, be able to be around them and just kind of just just check out what they were into, because they bought a lot of music that day, and they were buying like a lot of R&B, a lot of jazz, and just it was great to just kind of see what these guys are just what gets them going
right
musically.
That would be such a great idea for like a maybe like a YouTube series of like record shopping with so and so.
Yeah.
Instead of shoes.
Like the whole getting coffee with comedians, you could do like record shopping with producers or DJs, and take Q-Tip or take like I don't know Large Professor out for like a record shopping episode, and that would be a fun. Someone needs to make that.
The Alchemist.
Alchemist. Actually, man, I was actually listening to the one he did for Casual the other day. I forgot how incredible that beat was. I Gotta Get Down.
Oh yeah.
That also reminds me of ABB Records, because I remember like the first time hearing Dilated Peoples, it was like Benny was playing it on his show, and I was like, yo, what's this? And he was like, this is our stuff. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I remember like reading the credits, and I think Alchemist did some of the production on that whole first, like I know he did oh god, I can't remember the name of the songs. He did a bunch of stuff for their first album. It's like him and Cutmaster Kurt, and then Evidence did beats on there as well. So yeah, interesting times. But Alchemist is a beast.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Andre 3000's latest album?
The flute record.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
It's cool, but I'll say this: like I probably should have expected that, and in my mind, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's going to sound like a Bobby Humphrey record, like just, or would maybe like either like some hip hop, like I was thinking Organized Noise, but with Andre playing flute through the whole thing. That's what I kind of envisioned. And then when I heard it, I was like, wow, okay, well, this is not what I expected. But I will say that I think it will produce some of the best samples to come for the next 20 years when people just sample the hell out of that record. And it's already happening. Right. People are already sampling it. But, yeah, so I should have known. I mean, I think Andre thinking that, like, he's too old to rap is kind of ridiculous, because Nas is like 50 or something and still putting out really good records. So it's like, if you rap what you want to rap about. You don't have to feel like you need to rap about something that, like, okay, yeah, you're like almost 50 years old. It's going to appeal to your core audience. It's not like you're trying to appeal to 18-year-olds. If they latch onto it, they latch onto it, right? Same thing with young music today. It's like, if it's good or bad, and you're from an older generation, you either accept it and you latch onto it, or it's just not your thing.
I think it is what it is for what it is, and he warned us. He told us.
Yeah.
I listened to his interview first before I listened to the album. He told us what it was going to be. So it's like you can't really be mad or annoyed with it if it's something exactly what he said it was. I was like, okay, so when I'm chilling, when I'm, relaxing, when I'm creating kind of like my show, like I put on music to create an atmosphere for people. It's kind of the same thing. I listened to it in my car once on full volume, and the vibrations did something to me. That was something. Like, I know that, I don't know what it's called, but music lovers usually get a tingly feeling, or your hair, it's hair raising, or it gives you some kind of sensation. That's what it did for me when I listened to it in my car. So I was like, this is nice. I like this. I like what he was doing with it. It's not something that I'm going to like listen to all the time, or it's not something where I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to go get in my car and play this. But I'm not going to say it's bad. It's different, and it's what he said it was going to be. And yes, definitely, like the samples that come out of it is going to be dope. In terms of the rapping, I would much rather him be realistic with himself than try to rap when he doesn't want to.
Yeah. And
it come out horrible, and everybody's just like, oh man, he just tarnished the legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because he's one of the dopest MCs ever.
Well, so that's the thing, because like, he would put out verses periodically here and there. Yeah. Like he'd pop up on so-and-so's record, then he'd pop up on another record, and every verse he would drop would always be just
hard,
discussed and analyzed, and like So I'm like, you can still do this, but it's like, if you just don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. Just say you don't want to do it anymore. Like you're done with hip hop. Fine.
No excuses. Just don't do it and let us just live off of what we have because it's good.
Yeah, I would have to say for me, in listening to the album, I love it. I love it in the sense of with Andre 3000. I've always been a fan, even going back to Southern Playalistics in '94 with him and Big Boy as Outkast, and then I think the only album as far as with Outkast that I was like, it would be Stank on You.
Really?
I think it just seemed very commercial attempt.
Oh yeah, that's true.
At times, but then again, I saw them on the Aquemini tour, and matter of fact, they were on there with this artist y'all might know her, Lauryn Hill.
Oh. I remember that tour.
I've heard of her.
Is that when they perform? When Stevie Wonder performed too?
No,
I've heard of her. I can't remember from where.
Yeah, it's a little group called
the
Fugees.
Yeah.
You guys are funny.
Oh man, though. So, did they during their last tour? Did Proswell snitch on the rest of them? I mean,
funny.
I'm just wondering,
funny.
Right. But no, we've actually played some of Andre 3000's album on Let's Talk Music and then on the Jazz Line sessions with African Jamal Davis on Saturdays. But for me, I really enjoy it, and anything with Andre coming out musically, I'm always happy with it. But I think it's interesting how he's not really motivated in a sense lyrically. I think about people like John Lennon or Miles Davis, how they didn't hear the music for those few years. So just like, wow, I wonder what was going on with them. So it's interesting from his perspective on what it is now in life and what he's going through. But I wasn't. There wasn't no build up to me liking the album. I liked it overall, especially the first one, the first song of the album.
So you didn't like Bombs Over Baghdad?
Oh, I love.
Because when I heard that record, you gotta remember at this point, this is like I'm heavily into DJing clubs at this point. This record comes out, and I remember thinking to myself, "There's no way in hell I can mix this with anything," but it's so wild and so like it almost felt like a more soulful attempt at like a 2 Live Crew record, but even faster.
Yeah,
and it was just like. It just blew my mind when I first heard it,
Me
and then
too.
like I was just like, I thought Stank on You was probably a step down from Aquemini, but it was to me it was a classic.
No, I mean I love Bombs on the Baghdad. I think it was just that one I love, and I love that they kicked off as far as their singles with that.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing. I think it was just like Miss Jackson and So Fresh So Clean.
Oh.
I heard that a lot. It was almost like
it didn't get overplayed.
Yeah.
So
I feel you.
It was like, how do you want it? It was like, I already liked it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, so I think for me, that was like, all right. And then, a lot of people who were not Outkast fans for those 3 previous albums really got onto that one.
Right.
So,
do you remember the discourse around Miss Jackson?
Yes.
Like, who is that about? And the rumor was it was about Erica.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because
Badu, for folks that don't know.
Badu, Andre 3000, folks. Erica Badu, Andre 3000.
People still blame her for the way he was dressing.
Nah.
Apparently, he was always dressing like that.
Yeah, he's already on his own little hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90s were wild. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. But we got a lot of good folks that's doing some good things now, especially just the current. And, I'm looking forward to seeing what's to come in the year of 2024.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm just not looking forward to this election. But other than that,
that's a whole. Oh my goodness.
Musically, I'm looking forward to like a few things, but also because 2 reasons. It's going to be KPFA's 75th birthday coming up in April, and also
triple OGs.
Oh yeah, and speaking of programs, we were talking about programs that have been around for a while. I didn't realize they've been around for this long, but also. Pig and a Pen is going to be celebrating their 50th year.
Wow.
So that's quite the accomplishment.
I'm trying to be one of them OGs here at KPFA. Like, I want to be one of them people that's like, I've been here for 30 years. Like, that's my hype.
I love Pig and a Pen, and I love that Sunday lineup in the latter part of the morning into the early afternoon, like Across the Great Divide with Kevin Vance.
Oh, yeah.
America's Back 40, with Mary Tilson.
Oh, yes, I love that. Yeah, you know, also I should announce too, coming in January, there's a couple new programmers that are going to be popping up that I should definitely mention for everyone to check out.
Yeah.
My good buddy DJ Henrock, he has a show coming out called City Cat Radio, which is going to premiere the first week of January. I believe it's January 3rd, which is a Wednesday, midnight to 2 a.m. And he's an incredible DJ. So you're going to get a dope set of music and whatever else he plans to throw your way every week. And he's got some ideas, and I'm really excited for him to get down. But then also a longtime programmer here at KPFA, David Ogilby, is going to be taking over Wednesday nights from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight, taking over for Mo, who unfortunately had to stop doing her show. Just things happen, and but shout out to Mo, because Mo is one of my favorite people in the world. Who we go back from the Calyx days, and she's just super awesome, amazing taste in music. But yeah, so David Ogilby, man, he's ready to bring it in, and coming after Dead to the World from 8 to 10 is going to be like the perfect slot. So you're going to get a beautiful 4-hour block of incredible music coming on Wednesday nights that you definitely want to tune in for and check it out. And that's also going to start the same day, January 3rd. So we're just getting all the pieces of the puzzle into play, and expect some new voices on your nighttime vibe.
Nice. Where can we find you on Instagram?
Instagram, I'm at DJ Mike Biggz. That's DJ, the letters MIKE BIGGZ, as in zebra, not S, which a lot of people do by accident. But it's always Z as in zebra. And if you want to know why, it's because hip hop taught me how to put Z at the end of my name. So that's why.
I'm Computrblu, spelled all together with no E's on Instagram. COMPUTRBLU. That's where you can find me. How about you?
Yes, on Instagram at D Minor, and that's DMINOR. Right there. I'll stay on Instagram. I'll add me.
I feel like there should be a contest if you know the origin of Computrblu's name, if you know where that came from.
Oh yeah.
Send in a email to some. I don't know. We'll figure that one out. Maybe we'll
slide in my DMs.
There you go. Because it comes from a very specific artist and a very specific song, which is an incredible record. And
Yes.
I would sing a bar of it, but I don't want to destroy that beautiful song with my horrible voice. So, there we go. I think we're about to wrap up. I think I'll mention KPFA.org, folks. That's where you can find many beautiful things. And I think this will also be on KPFA.org very soon in podcast form, and hopefully you can also see maybe a playback on video as well. We'll see what we can get up there, but KPFA.org, where you can also donate if you do feel so.
That would be nice.
You'd like to, and also thank you to everyone who donated during the holiday drive. We went past our goal, and that's really incredible considering the time of year, and you guys really showed out for KPFA and showed how much how much I guess we mean to you, and you mean everything to us. So much love.
Much love. Thank you.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. We are the gift.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're wrapping up.
All right. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
You can check out Let's Talk Music on social media at D Minor. You can also send us an email at DJThomasJay @gmail.com.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you want to find more KPFA radio content, log on to www.kpfa.org. Also follow us on social media by visiting Facebook at KPFA 94.1 and Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at KPFA Radio. Plus, check out our KPFA TV video content on YouTube and twitch.tv at KPFA Radio. Subscribe to this podcast and stay updated to when we release episodes of shows representing the best of KPFA Radio.